Yo, 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 it is another Rowdy Thursday, and that could mean one thing and one thing only. It is a brand new episode of A Worthy Addiction.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, a show like no other, hosted by me and my rowdy brother. And let me not waste any time introducing to you my buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the real alpha male of our male species, but also a man that can finally say that Toy Addict is classy and not trashy. Ladies and gentlemen, unworthy dynamite collector.
I agree with most of that except for the classy thing.
I'm
Uh,
like,
you, sir, are much more than classy.
oh,
And
okay.
my co-host of the evening here, he is 50% human, 33% gray alien, and 17% action figure.
Yeah,
Mr. Toy Addict 17.
I love it. Wow. I like how you just broke that down.
I
Like,
just did that
thank you.
math in my head quick, too. That was pretty impressive.
Well, I was terrible at math, so whatever. All right, but other than that, dude, how are you doing? We've had
I'm doing
such
good.
an
Coming down from a high
yeah,
from Legion's
yeah,
Con,
yeah,
getting to meet everybody. It's been great.
absolutely. Dude, I it was so awesome to finally meet you in person, but is it weird to say that I feel like we've already met? Like it feels like we've already hung out, right? Because we
Yeah,
talk so much.
yeah. I felt it was pretty cool to see you, even though you were late to the airport picking me up. I had to wait around for an hour and spent an extra
It's not
forty
gonna let that
dollars
go.
on two beers. But honestly,
Yeah.
it was so much fun getting to meet everybody and
Yeah.
just getting to walk around the place and be just completely full of nonsense with you in person rather than
Yes, yes. And
YouTube.
now what would you say is the highlight? Because there's so many. I mean, we're gonna talk about this more in a future episode, but what would you say is the highlight of that weekend for you?
I think the best thing was getting the big sandwich hug from Yimbo and Detour.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
I feel like that hug added it gave me like 3 extra years to my life, like
Really?
energy off of
Well, I
that
see
hug.
it. You're like
Like
you're like
my
youthful
knee was
now, like
bothering me before, my elbow and my shoulder were all kind of messed up, but then when that hug hit, it was like I feel
it
like
was
I
like
could do cartwheels.
you were healed
And by the
instantly.
way, I've never been able to do cartwheels.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I would say the highlight, honestly, and as biased as it sounds, the highlight was to finally hang out with you in person and just have a great time, dude, and like show people how silly we are, and and just also too, I agree, just hanging out with everybody, and shout out to everybody that we got to meet, the new people, and even there were people that even came from like Texas, like toy photographers that came from Texas, and just a great time, great time. So definitely that was my highlight, but more
It
importantly
was,
was
but we're gonna get into that next week
yes,
on our episode. We
yes,
got more pressing business for tonight.
yes, we got more pressing business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've made it. We have a special guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I think we and our special guest is a jack of all trades, but mainly she's a cosplay extraordinaire. So the young lady
Extraordinaire.
does acting, she does modeling, and again, she's a phenomenal cosplayer. Ladies and gentlemen, let me not waste any time to introduce the prodigal daughter of New York City, ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Bear. Fancy
Jamie
pants.
Bear Fancy Pants.
Hey.
There
Ah.
she is.
Oh, that was too nice. I loved all
Well,
that. I don't know if
I
I
I
agree with all that, but
oh, come on. Like off the top of my head, like sometimes we say things and it's just like I hope we say it right. And like sometimes it does.
sometimes.
See,
I'm the same
Sometimes.
way.
I instantly thought he was saying your name wrong already, so I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh
And I
no.
interrupted
He
him,
like stopped me
but he
midway
was
as I
saying
was
it
saying
right.
it right. Like he
No, it's
almost
Bear
confused me.
Jamie Pants Fancy.
Oh
Yeah.
Lord.
Oh, you know what?
You
Really
know what,
missed
that
your mark
works.
there. That could have been it.
That was awesome. So listen, Jamie, welcome to the show. We talked a little bit backstage. We are excited to have you on. We're honored. I feel like me and Unworthy, we kind of like set the bar high every episode. Like it's like we're like the quiet kids in school, and then we get to hang out with the cool kids. Like the cool
Oh.
kids finally accept us. So I feel famous. Unworthy, do you feel famous?
Yeah.
Because I feel famous
I
today.
do. I do. I feel a lot more famous now
Yeah, there
than
you
I
go.
did last Thursday.
That you did during the
Last
weekend you
Thursday.
spent with me, right? Like it was like I didn't feel famous with Danny, but I do feel famous
No,
now during
not
the
at
show.
all.
Oh, that's so
So
funny
we're
because I was one of the shy, quiet kids in school. So,
really
oh
Really?
God, yeah.
wow, wow. So again, we're excited to have you on. Before we get to know you, because we're excited to get to know you and all the awesome work that you do, I always like to say hi to the chat because we have a bunch of people here. And thank you. So before I do that, you could have been anywhere on social media, everybody, whether you're watching the replay or you're watching this live, but you chose to be with us tonight and our special guest. So with that being said, if you have not hit that like and subscribe button, please do so right now and hit that notification bell for more content or the alternative.
The
Don't,
alternative is
it's
you
okay.
don't do any of that because we'll be here next Thursday anyways.
Anyways, so, but we thank everybody who does tune in every week and everybody who's been supporting the show. And if you guys have any questions for our guests tonight, please put them on the chat. I'll showcase them. Anything you want to ask, because again, tonight is not about me and Unworthy. Tonight is about Jamie, and we're going to showcase her and her
Oh.
amazing, amazing work. So let me go say hi to the chat right now. So first off, we got our PR department, the real Bill in the house. What's going
Real
on, Bill? We're
Bill
gonna behave tonight, Bill.
already on
We're
his
gonna
nonsense.
already on his nonsense. We got our boy Raven's Eye Studio. What's going on? Our buddy Biko Sands. What's
Pico.
up, dude? Rumble Toys. What's up, dude? What's up? What's up?
What's up, Frank?
Tony Toy Box. What's going on? Welcome, welcome. Our boy Matt Collectibles Fun. What's up, dude? We got our homie Thor in the house. What's up, dude?
Thor. Loki's
Thor.
over. He's here.
We got AC Jello Jacket. What's up, dude? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Our buddy Toy Art Unlimited. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We got our homie Blitz Figs. What is it?
Blitz.
Blitzaclaws. Blitzaclaws.
It is Blitzclaws in the house.
It is Blitzaclaws. Our homie Ozzy 88 Figs. What's up, homie? Welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight again. We can't do this show without you guys. We thank you guys for all the support. But again, tonight it's not about us. Tonight is about Jamie. So just to kind of break the ice, because I like to do little icebreakers, especially with people I've never met. And this may be corny,
Sure.
but it's fun, right? So one of the things that I used to I used to work in a school system. One of the things that me and the students used to talk about a lot was our spirit animals, right? So like,
Oh.
so we should talk about spirit animals, right? So,
Mhm.
and I mean, I know it could change, right? When you wake up in the morning, you're feeling some type of way, and then middle of the day, as you're at work, you could be something else, and at the end of, but like if there's one
Oh yeah.
specific spirit animal that, and chat, you could tell us your spirit animal as well. If there's one specific animal that you say is your spirit animal, which one would it be? And I'm gonna start with our guest, Jamie. What would be your spirit animal and why?
Oh man, that's a good one. I've
Mm,
always felt, and you're gonna ask me why. No, you did ask me why.
I'm
Yeah,
I've
going to ask
always
you why.
we
felt
did.
like wolf,
Okay.
but like I'm
Okay.
not vicious at all.
Okay.
So more like the cute, almost like a dog, but maybe could mess you up if you do something.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'm going with it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That's a good one. And like,
A
why? And
very sweet, cuddly wolf. But if you get it in the corner, boy, you don't want that.
There you go. You never know.
All right.
kind of like the ones from Twilight, right? Like they weren't scary, but they were
Oh,
cute. But they were but
they were
when they
cute.
meant when they don't even ask me why. I know that. But like I'm not saying I own an Edward shirt now. I don't own an Edward shirt. I promise I don't.
I wouldn't judge that.
Judge free, right? But yeah, so that's awesome. You're not, you said you're not as you're not you wouldn't be a vicious wolf, but
Mhm.
when it came down to, you meant business, right? That's
Oh
the reason.
yeah.
Is that the reason why you say the wolf is your spirit animal? Are you one of those people that
Yeah,
is
and
okay?
I feel like a pack animal. I protect my own. I think that's a big thing.
Mm, okay. Unworthy.
Yep. I think I'm gonna say the obvious answer here. I'm a bear. It just depends
Oh.
on what part of the day as to what bear. Like in the mornings, I'm not a morning person, so I'm like a sloth, like one of the sloth bear. Well, that's not a bear, like a koala bear, real slow moving. You know, like can't do shit without my eucalyptus first thing. Like gotta have that. A little cranky. Don't you ever seen a cranky koala? Those things you get them wet and they're miserable. So I'm definitely a koala bear in the morning, but then
Okay.
I would say I'm probably like a big cuddly panda bear in the afternoon, and then at night when my kids are being crazy and won't go to bed, then I'm a gray.
Okay. As far as I'm concerned, I think I would be like a dog. I'm very loyal. When it comes to people, I could be very loyal, but you break that loyalty with a dog, it'll show you.
Also,
You
if you
like
try to take the pizza away from a dog.
Yeah, you try to like you back a dog against a wall long enough. Again, I'm same thing. It'll show you it means business. But I'm a very loyal person when it comes to people. Like I'm the dog that comes when Unworthy comes home. I'm already waiting at the door, waiting for him, wagging my tail, and he comes, and I'm like jumping on him because I want Unworthy to walk me out. I'm
How
like,
was your
take me
day?
outside,
How was
Dad.
your day? You want to go outside?
I love that.
Let's play catch. We should really do that. Like, you should like take me out for walks and like we should do that next time. Like on our next trip, like I'll buy a leash. You just take me out, take me for walks. We'll play catch
I
and we'll
don't
be
want
fine.
people to start getting the wrong idea.
The
Oh
wrong
no.
The dynamic of our relationship here.
like, wait, it's like, what? Wait, I thought you guys had a show together. I didn't know it was this intense. I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But awesome answers. We got some answers from the chat. So we have Vico says he'd be a wolf because oh,
Yeah.
good one. We got Thor says he definitely would be a tiger. Tony Toy Boxy
He
said it would
reminds
be
me of a tiger.
a dragon. Okay, a
I
dragon.
like
All
that.
right. 88 said he would be a penguin.
Hey, listen, you got slide. Penguins, they slide.
All right. Rodriguez says a lion. Okay. Okay. Bill says a red panda. I'm cute. I sleep all day. Okay. We got that. 88 says a liger. A lion mixed with a tiger. Tripping with Toy says a crow. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting. I want to know why. Why a crow? Raven says an otter. Very interesting.
You know what? Ravens does strike me as an otter.
Yeah.
You know, next time we have a big
We don't mean that
get-together, we
offensively.
gotta get ravens together, and we gotta go to like one of them lazy pools there that just like circles around. I bet
Just like
those are fun.
All right. Toyota Limited says my spirit animal is a seagull. They chill by the beach, do their own thing, as well as hang and group. Make them. Hey, you know what? Good. It says man being fake. Final answer. Okay. Okay. Realm says a bear as well. Okay. And man, who else we got here? Oh, I like this one. Raven says Danny is my spirit animal. Aw.
Right now I'm gonna have two dogs
hearts.
around.
Hearts. Nico says cash me outside. How about that? Okay. What else we got here? What else we got? All right. Oh geez. No, I do not. No, I do not.
No, he doesn't. I broke him. I got him fixed last year.
Well, thank you for that phenomenal. Well, I mean, again, just a little icebreaker just to kind of get things going. But
Absolutely.
we're gonna get to the nitty gritty here. So, Jamie, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're again super honored to have you on. When Unworthy
thank you.
Yeah, when Unworthy had told me about you coming on and stuff, and we've been talking about getting like just cosplayers and stuff. The minute I saw the page, I was like, yes, let's get her on. Let's do it. It means business, but even just kind of just like looking at like the your bio and like seeing some of the photos and some of the reels and stuff like that, it shows how much more that goes into it, but also how much more you do besides cosplay. Again, you're a jack of all trades. I can barely tie my shoes sometimes.
Oh,
it's crazy. So just to kind
he's
of,
not lying. You should have seen him at Legion's Con. I had to tie his shoes both
he
days,
did.
and then finally I was like, just wear your Crocs, okay?
I
Just
was like,
wear
come
the
on, Dad.
That's comfy too.
Yeah. You should have saw me. I would lift my what is it, loggers? I would lift my leg up. I was like, tie my shoes, honey.
I
Oh
believe in
no.
Switzerland they call them joggers.
Joggers.
Oh
So,
wow.
Jamie, just to kind of just get into it, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh wow. That's a big question.
That is a big question.
I feel like every day I'm learning more about myself too. So my name is Jamie.
Okay.
I do cosplay, and I think, as you said, as well as in my bio, I do acting. I do
Mhm.
I don't even remember what's in my bio right now.
You do so much.
But anything that's very creative, I'm
Mhm.
very into. I feel like for a minute I use that creativity into
Mhm.
a career, and that was just not where it was at. Because then you don't have room to do all your hobbies.
Okay.
And I clearly love my hobbies.
Mhm.
But anything creative, so I love when people get passionate about stuff. So
Mhm.
even going into like movies, I love movies. I love video games. I love media. I consider myself a very nerdy person. So anything that I can get obsessed over, I will. That I have an obsessive personality.
You should like meet my ex-wife so I could just let her know. It's like, see, somebody has hobbies. No, I'm kidding. I'm
Oh
only kidding. She likes this stuff. No,
no.
no, but that's awesome. Now, like, were you like this growing up? Was it like this growing up for you? Like, you were like
Oh
big
yeah.
on like just media and like, you know, little things.
Yeah.
Like, what did you do? What did you do when you were younger? Like, what kind of hobbies did you do?
So I definitely actually started cosplay when I was a kid. I think my first cosplay was when I was 12 or 13.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was an anime cosplay because I used to
Mhm.
be very into anime.
Okay.
I used to be a little bit of a weeb, but I feel like everybody has a phase and then it comes back. So maybe my weeb phase will come back.
Yeah.
I leave all options open. But cosplay has kind of followed me, but even like I grew up playing video games. I have 2 older brothers. So
Okay.
I was always watching them if I couldn't play myself, and then eventually I did. And whether that was computer or I'm a PlayStation player, so
Okay.
so
Atta
very
girl.
story based games. I love anything that I
Okay.
can get into a story and characters. Anything that touches the heart, you know.
What is your favorite video game? Like, what video game is like your favorite video game? Like,
Oh
you could
yeah,
play it. You could play it and
yep.
then put it
That's a
away, and
loaded
like
question for a
that
gamer.
is a loaded question. But
That is a hard question for any gamer to answer.
It is
that
a
is
hard question, but I think, for the past how long, 10 years now that it's been out, The Last of Us has been the game for me.
yeah, that is a great game. That is a
Mhm.
phenomenal game.
It's
Now,
good for hours of jump scares.
yes,
You know?
yes. So
Doesn't
True.
matter how many times I play the story, that there's the same parts again.
so you're into RPG games, so just kind of like
Oh
world
yeah.
building games where you could like I remember when I was like I'm not into video games. I actually like sold my PlayStation. Now I regret it because a lot of great games are coming out. So like I'm not into it as I used to be, but I remember I was really big into God of War. God of War was like
Oh
my game.
yeah.
And to this day, it is still my favorite game of all time because I used to just love the puzzles and like trying to
Yeah.
figure out. I remember like almost smashing my controller because I couldn't get like this one part. And my
Oh
mom
no.
and mind you, God of War came out. I was a little older, like I was clearly like maybe early 20s. It's like my mom would be like, "Dude, you're like a grown man. Why are you upset? It's a game. Like relax." I'm like, "I can't do this,
Oh.
man. Somebody help me." But God of War was definitely my game, my go-to game. Besides like the fighting games, I always liked the game. But anything like, and then I want to
Mhm.
say the last RPG game that was really good was Days Gone. Days Gone was a really good game. I don't know if
Oh
you ever played
yeah.
Days Gone.
Yes.
Unworthy, were you ever
Absolutely.
a big gamer, Unworthy?
Yeah. I actually Days Gone is one of my favorite.
Ah, yeah,
one of my favorite
Phenomenal.
games. And Red Dead Redemption. I'm still
Oh,
Yes.
playing that
amazing
Yes.
all the time
games.
right now. I actually, when I got the PS3, I bought the new edition
Mm-hmm.
of it so that I could play it on the PlayStation 4,
Mm-hmm.
so that I didn't have to keep messing around with the PS3. So that's
Right.
still one of my favorite games.
That's
88,
amazing.
88 Fig says, F the water temple. Fuck the water temple. You're probably talking about God of War. Yeah, it was terrible. It sucked. I was upset about that. It made me so angry. So you do all these, so you've been doing cosplay since you were what, 12 years old, right? Now,
Yeah.
what was so I don't know if forgive me if I didn't hear this, but what was your first cosplay was an anime
It
cosplay when
wasn't
you were 12?
yeah.
Okay,
So it was
which
an
character?
anime character. It was Toru Honda from the anime Fruits Basket.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to forgive
Very,
us because
very
we're not
like
familiar.
no,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that one is very like I hate to say this, but it's very like it's like a love story, but it's based on the Chinese zodiac. So
Okay.
there's cool elements to it, but it was very much geared more towards like girls.
Um, it's funny because we're not me and Worthy. We're not. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm Worthy. I don't
Full
want to say you're not.
disclosure, we don't know much about anime. Actually,
No.
Danny a couple episodes ago was talking about how he went to an anime store and he was
Yeah, with my
confused as
daughter.
to why they were selling so much soup at the anime store.
All I could talk about was
And
the soup.
The soup?
our
Well,
yeah,
it,
our
yeah,
brother AB was on, and he's a anime guy, and he told us
he's
that
an
like
enthusiast.
a lot of the anime stores they sell like the soup packets and like to make your own soup or something.
Oh, like
Yeah.
Still don't
ramen?
quite understand it.
It was like
Yeah,
ramen.
yeah, I think
No,
so.
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, it was like no, it was a big anime store in Connecticut. I'm in Connecticut, so it was a big anime store in Mystic, and it was my daughter's birthday. She's real big into Spy Family. She loves the Spy Family. She
Oh,
loves
yep.
Demon Slayer. She loves all this stuff. She like draws her own. She does great work.
Oh, that's so cool.
So anytime we go to like Barnes and Nobles, that's the section we go to. Like, but we went there for her birthday, and I'm expecting like as we went in, she's looking at all like they were selling comics, statues, figurines, keychains, and here's obviously me. I'm in the soup section because you can make your own soup there, and I'm like trying to
He's
like
like, I
plan
didn't know
out.
I could get lunch.
I didn't know I could get lunch,
I
so
love that though.
I'm like trying to play, and you can actually make the soup there, and like, but it's not like nothing fancy. Like you just buy,
Hmm.
like you heat up water like right there in like what a teacup, and then you throw it in the microwave or whatever you want to do. It's not nothing fancy, but like the whole entire time, my daughter's like, "Hey, Dad, look, look." I was like, "Hold on, wait, they got like shrimp soup here."
Decide on your soup over
So,
here.
and like we had this whole big old episode where we were talking about this anime store. And the conversation was about anime, but it ended
Mhm.
up being like what 45 minutes, close to an hour about soup. How much we love soup,
Listen.
or how much we hate
Yeah.
soup.
Oh no.
It was
That's so
it was
funny though.
a great episode. But
It
We
was a
probably
great
should
episode.
have learned more about anime from that because
yeah,
AB was trying to teach us, but
yeah,
we
he
were
was
more
Oh
frustrated.
focused.
no.
AB was just like not having us. Like he was not having it with us. He was like, "You guys are just ruining it." But I
Oh
mean,
no.
there are some. I mean, I don't know if you would consider. I know I have a buddy of mine. Well, we have a buddy of ours in the toy community that goes by Zombie Clown. He's big into that, and like he put me
Mm.
on Attack on Titans. Like I
Oh.
watched
Mhm.
that a couple of times, and I liked it. And I liked there was this one. I want to say it's one anime movie that I watched a while back that was called Blood: The Last Vampire. Like I'm a big
Oh yeah,
horror
yeah,
fan.
yeah.
Like I'm a big horror fan, and like I gravitate to anything spooky, scary. So like Blood: The Last Vampire was like this one animated movie that came out, and I was like, man, I like it. But every time I ask people, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like,
Oh
they don't. I
really?
don't know. Yeah, people don't. Most people that I know that love anime, anytime I even bring it up, they're like, "No, I've never seen it." I was like, "Oh well, maybe that's why I'm not into anime.
Oh no. You
That's
like
why
the
I'm
real
not
niche
forced."
stuff.
Yeah, I was like nobody watches that, Danny. We watch other stuff. But now here's the real question for you, right? What made you get into cosplay? Like what about cosplay was like,
Hmm.
yeah, I got to do this. This is what I want to do.
It's so funny because when I think back, even when I was doing my first cosplay. I don't even remember where I learned cosplay was a thing that I could do. I must have just been like online somewhere, God knows where. And I was like, I probably saw like a Final Fantasy cosplay and I was like, wow, that looks so cool. I'm going to do that. But
awesome.
I just love the expression. I love the idea of cosplay. To me is very much just who you love, whatever characters you either have similarities to or just like love so much. We all have characters that we just vibe with, and taking on the ability to just become them and kind of like honor them in a way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think of cosplay as.
That's awesome. Now, what would you say is the hardest thing about cosplay? Because even us, I'm glad that you said that it's these characters, right? Because toy photographers or toy collectors, it's all similar in a way, right? Because what me and Unworthy and a lot of the folks in the chat or even in our community, what we do is we take these little plastic figurines that these companies make, right? And we make stories through photo. A lot of us I don't have a background in photography. I'm not a professional photographer. Sometimes I believe I act like I am sometimes, but I'm not. But we take these, simple toys that you buy in stores and you should see, I don't know if you've ever seen any toy photography, and there's some people that do phenomenal work. So we kind of just do the same thing, right? Like where you guys do the same thing. But it's crazy how you guys do it with yourselves, and it's you being that character, and you have to kind of tell a story. And one of the things that I've always loved about cosplays going to conventions is just not only just the level of detail and how much work they put into the costumes, but how they make it their own thing. It's not just a regular, it's okay to see a Deadpool, but I want to see your version. I seen a Deadpool once that was like a Pikachu mixed with Deadpool, and I was like, the fact that you thought about that is amazing to me. So what would you say is the hardest thing about cosplaying, for you in particular?
I have two answers. I have a serious one and a boring one. Okay. So we'll start with the boring one.
Okay.
To me, the hardest part is truly just making it. So I make all of my cosplays. Wow. Yeah. So a lot of times I don't know what I'm doing. A lot of times, I have an idea and I'm I don't even know where to start. And I don't have a background in, I learned how to sew a year ago. I don't know how to do foam work or people make amazing leather stuff. And so with every cosplay, I'm seeing that I'm learning a new skill that helps me even more for the next one.
Yeah.
So that's my boring answer. Just physically,
it wasn't
it's
boring.
hard.
It wasn't boring.
Oh, thank you.
That's honestly though, it's really cool though that you're self-taught. You taught yourself how to do it.
It's fun. That's part of the fun to me, is because I'm out of school, I work, and this is my way of being able to just continue learning.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Now, what's the other answer?
The serious one is really honestly, it tests your confidence a lot. Whether that's just can I really do this character? Will I do this character justice? And going to conventions, especially, putting your work in front of so many other people.
Yeah.
It can be a little overwhelming.
No, I'd imagine. Now, it's so similar to and this is why I'm super excited to have you on, because there's so many similarities to it. You do your own work. It's similar to toy photographers who make their own dioramas. We've had a guest on, one of our buddies, his name is Jedi Jack. He does phenomenal photos, but his if you ever see, he does amazing dioramas, amazing dioramas.
Oh, that's so cool.
And the fact that he's able to, and he also cosplays too. He's a big Daredevil fan. Yeah, so he cosplays as well. So
Very
It's just
cool.
it's crazy how because even me, like when I see cosplayers at conventions or even hear stories like yourself, like you're self-taught, you do your own stuff. And I've seen videos where you the boots and I think I want to say it was the Loki where you put the
Hmm.
fur on the legs and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I see all this and how I believe you had a before and after photo where it was like your first convention and like
Hmm.
you upgraded and like how much progress. It's kind of similar to what me and Unworthy do all the every week, right? Like
Oh,
we push our
you
yeah.
keep saying that, and I don't want to. It's not that similar. We're
It's similar. It's similar. It's if you
The
just we're
heart
like
is
we're
similar.
the
it's not
creativity, based
yes.
in creativity and like putting
Hmm.
our stuff out there. But like we have the advantage of putting our photos out there and not really having to be face to face with the people who are viewing.
Which is a
So
shame because I've always
Jamie,
challenged it's a shame. I've always challenged people to put themselves in their photos with their toys
Mm.
because there's something
well, yeah,
about like mixing that
but
would be
from
so dope.
picture, what
Yeah.
Jamie's saying is, she's got to get the confidence to,
Yeah.
to go out there
Yeah.
in costume, and that's a
That
way
is.
more challenging than anything we're doing as
And that's
toy
one thing I will
so,
that's one thing I do applaud you guys for doing because there are some costumes where I'm like there are some cosplays so I'm like wow like you're really bold and it's like
Oh
you
yeah.
guys just become it's like is that something like in the beginning that was like big for you like it was like oh like I'm gonna put this on I'm gonna dress up like Storm or I gotta be comfortable within my own skin to kind of like
Hmm.
have you ever felt that way and
Oh
how
my
were you able
gosh.
to kind of
I
overcome that?
feel that way even today.
Oh really?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So with every single cosplay,
Hmm.
before I take it to a convention especially, there's a
Hmm.
lot of anxiety. It's like, I don't know if is this gonna work out? Does it
Yeah.
look as good as I think it looks? Um, just for Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, I did Namora from Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
And yeah, and that was a very big project for me, but you face challenges with yourself too because I finished that one and I'm very proud of it, but there was a part of me that was like, I don't think I can go out in this. I don't know if I did a great job. So
Now,
absolutely, that's a big challenge.
no, definitely. Now, you mentioned the New York Comic Con. What was your first convention? Was it New York?
Actually, no, it wasn't. It was Anime Next in New Jersey
Okay.
in 2008.
Nice. And who did you
Mhm.
go as that year?
That was the anime
that was your
character.
first
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Hmm.
Now, I have something that Lorenzo Dazier, forgive me if I'm like sabotaging. They says cheap plug, check out Jamie's post about embodying your cosplay characters, deep connection. Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure, yeah. So actually, it was I believe it was my last post. I
Okay.
posted a picture of She-Hulk,
Mhm.
and I made that post because I was having a bad day. I think when people are reading it, because I kind of hid my feelings in a
Mhm.
semi like positive way,
Mhm.
but a lot of my cosplays, I tend to go for characters that have similar traits. And for me, it's a lot of like characters that embody confidence and
Mhm.
even like a little bit of like flirty, sexy,
Yeah.
like just beautiful characters. And a lot of that, like I gear towards those characters because a lot of times I don't feel that way myself. And for me, being able to put on a cosplay and become that character is like that alter ego of She-Hulk versus Jen
Mhm.
Walters, of being
Yeah.
able to just suddenly have these traits of being confident and being a different person for a little bit. So
Mhm.
that's what that was about.
That's awesome. Now, what would you say is your favorite part about putting on your cosplay? What would you say is your favorite, but also what is your least favorite part about it? But
Oh, okay.
before you answer that, you got a couple people here who want you have Lorenzo saying such a beautiful project seen in person, and then Rodriguez
Oh,
says she's more
thank
inspired than
you.
she probably realizes.
Oh
Yes,
no, that's
I
so
agree.
sweet.
I agree.
I
I
will
agree.
agree with that. Yeah.
That's so sweet. Thank
What's
you.
up, buddy? How you doing? So what is your favorite part about on the cosplay? And then tell me what's your least favorite thing.
Yeah. My favorite part is definitely just it's that like being able to take on the character,
Okay.
being able to be someone else. Because I have a background in theater and acting, so being able to just like play in that realm of not really being Jamie, but being She-Hulk or
Yeah.
Storm or whatever it may be, that's fun. That's a
Yeah.
lot of fun to just be someone else for a little bit.
That's true. I agree because
Um,
when I go to conventions, I feel more superior when I tell people I'm toy addict. But
there
then,
you go.
you got people like KJ Smith who will remind me who they're like, "Wait, aren't you unworthy?" I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not that special." So, what would you say is your least favorite thing? I mean, I'm sorry, I don't if you didn't finish answering
Oh,
the
no,
first
no,
part.
no.
You'll get used to it. He does that a lot. He interrupts
No,
himself because
perfectly fine.
he can't mentally
Well, I mean, when you
compound
got
things
a bunch of
to
questions,
remember.
I'm like fanboying in here. I should have had
Oh, no.
a Jamie shirt here, and maybe I should have cosplayed today. That's what it should have
That would have
happened.
been amazing.
Well, you know what? Next time, kick that. So, what would you say is your least favorite thing for cosplaying?
Honestly, the least favorite thing is probably putting everything on. I don't, a lot of people don't realize it, but some of the cosplays, there's a lot of pieces that go into it. And
Mhm.
it's like a workout. Like the Loki one you had talked about, that's like
Yeah.
25 different pieces. And I have to put them on in
Oh,
different orders because if I put one on before the other, then nothing fits. And it's a lot, honestly.
yeah. I could imagine.
I
I've
see.
seen. Go ahead.
I see a lot of these cosplays, like you're saying, where it's all these moving pieces and layers,
Hmm.
and the first thing that always comes to my mind is, if I was doing this, I'd be the worst cosplayer because, like, as soon as I was dressed, I'd have to pee and then
Oh my
take it all off again, and then
You
put
would
it
have.
all back on again, and then I'd
You
be
would
No.
like,
have.
"Ugh, I can't." I'm stressed out. I need a white claw, and then 2 white claws later, I gotta piss again, and I gotta go take it all off
It
again. I'd be
happens.
the
It
worst.
does.
Yeah.
No, because I
You.
have friends who do cosplays that they can barely walk in. They need a handler because they can't see. They can't sit down because the cosplay doesn't allow it, but they'll stand in it for, 8 to 12 hours a day.
Oh man, that's gotta be tough. And here's Danny over here saying that what you guys do is like, no, if I get tired from taking like 5 pictures, like I'll just go sit on my couch for an hour.
Well, I mean, I think it's similar in a way where we they I want to say it's similar in a way where she makes certain things where it's totally different, but like she's bringing these characters that she resonates so much with to life, where when I take horror photos, right, when I take photos of figures that are harder, I'm telling the story too. I have to set up the scene. I have to make sure that it's going to be something that people are going to appreciate. I mean, not that it matters to me because at the end of the day, I'm one of those people that as long as I love it, I'm okay with it. But you know what I'm saying? But like
Amen.
again, oh, we about to start church. We need get the offering. Don't start with me. Get the offer basket. No, but like it's similar in
No, I
like
he'll go if I don't interrupt him like this. Sometimes he will continue to talk for me. So if anybody watching is wondering why I'm interrupting him, it's because
I'm
he
fanboying.
knows.
That's all it is. We
One
have a
one
celebrity with us today.
Oh gosh.
one question that I did want to ask
Hmm.
concerning your cosplays is, when you go to these conventions, is there ever any kind of apprehension, like with like with what you're wearing, like,
That's a good question.
not just if somebody is going to not think it's good or whatever, but like, I always imagine there's got to be, forgive me for saying it this way, but I gotta imagine there's like pervy people that are like, oh, they want to take pictures with you, but then they're like, oh, let me really get a picture. And like, have you ever experienced that where it's like people just right away make you uncomfortable
Oh
as you're doing
yeah.
these cosplays?
Absolutely, because in the cosplay community, and I'm sure you've heard it just going to conventions in general, like cosplay is not consent is a big thing that
Hmm.
it gets pushed before conventions because there are people out there that will just make you uncomfortable, whether it's like saying something or
Yeah.
being touchy. Like it happens, unfortunately. So yeah, it's not something that I like not before convention where I'm like, oh man, I hope this doesn't happen. But it's definitely in the back of your head as you do anything. And I think I like not
Mhm.
to like make this into something else, but I think as a woman in general, unfortunately, you
Mhm.
that mindset quite a bit.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
So look,
I mean, because I feel like with cosplay, especially if you're showing any amount of skin, that they're like, oh, let me get a good, trying to
No,
get a top cheap
definitely.
feel on you, and yeah, that's why that cosplay is not consent. That is a huge move.
yeah.
It's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
I think that all venues that are doing this need to really be.
Absolutely. I agree.
Now Lorenzo says, putting on a cosplay with multiple parts is like trying to do a life size puzzle.
It's true.
And, and then I have a question from somebody in the chat. So 88 Fix says, what is your favorite cosplay you've done so far? Great question, Ozzy.
It changes all the time, but I have, and it's so funny because it's not one of my more like popular ones.
Mhm.
But I have a very special connection to my Lady Loki cosplay. And I
Okay.
think it's because so I have done cosplay for so long, but it was very like on and off because especially when you're a kid, you don't have money to do stuff like that. um, but I entered back into the cosplay community back in 2021. Back it was New York Comic Con when it was the first year after the pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was Lady Loki that I brought that year. And,
Mm.
I did it because I've always loved cosplay and I love conventions. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to put something together just to have fun.
Mhm.
And I thought it was good, but the response that I got and the just like welcome feeling that came from the
Mhm.
community that year, like really resonated with me. And that's why I remember I went home, I was like, "Holy crap, that was amazing." And since then, I've just, like it's definitely been my main hobby. I've put so much time, effort, money into it.
Mm.
Um, so that one means a lot to me.
That's awesome.
I've gotta imagine doing, especially with you making your own cosplays. I've
Mhm.
gotta imagine it's an expensive
It
hobby.
can be, and I know some people do, like, keep a budget and an Excel sheet of where they are on it, and you know what? I just don't because if I did, I think I would go
Don't let the
crazy.
numbers bring you down.
No,
Like when
exactly,
you're
like, I
buying
I can't
toys,
do
like I
that.
can't keep up with the numbers.
Now here's a silly question. Do you guys ever get like groups? Because I see that you guys have like a group, like a little clique that you guys do cosplay. You got a bunch of friends here. I have
Mhm.
Rodriguez says her Lady Loki is top shelf. Yes, absolutely,
Oh,
100%.
thank you.
So do you guys ever get like did you ever have a situation where like you run into somebody who's kind of cosplaying the same thing you are and you guys are trying to like one up one each other? Like it's kind of like a damn
Oh,
it's
no.
like you got served type thing. Like, you're like you come up and you
Who
come up
did
with
it
your
better?
stuff. Who did it better? Like, do you guys
Oh,
ever get situations like
no.
that? If
You know
so, how's
what?
that go?
There are definitely some parts of the community that are very competitive when it
Yeah.
comes to what they do, or some people feel more entitled to a character because they
Yeah.
have X amount of like likes or follows and whatever.
Yeah.
Um, I hate that. I remember when I did She-Hulk at Fan Expo Philly this year. It was my first time doing She-Hulk, and I ran into two other She-Hulks.
Hmm.
And thank God, but they were so nice about it, and, like, we just, like, loved on each other really because because we're all three of us are there for the same reason. We're just some nerds in green paint who all love the same character.
Hmm.
So I love when I see people do the same characters. I think it's so cool because then you have that special connection.
I always think of it as like then you got the option for the multiverse picture too.
There
Yeah.
you go. Yeah. And then
Get
everyone does the
everybody together.
Spider-Man picture.
Yes, yes.
Uh, I love this IG name, and forgive me, Jamie, but it's awesome. It's Suck My Croc asks, do you make your own pieces or do you commission them? I believe she you do make your and do you commission them?
I do make my own pieces for the most part.
Okay.
Have I ever? I haven't specifically commissioned. No, I just commissioned something that actually
Yeah.
came in the mail today that I have coming up, but I haven't really talked about it much yet.
I was gonna ask, how can I get something like this on me? How can I
I'm
get this
guessing it
lady
takes a
Loki
lot
on?
of work. That's what I wanted to ask is the how a rough estimate because I'm sure you probably
Yeah.
lose track. How long does it take to make?
To
I mean, are we
make,
talking
oh man.
weeks, months?
So it really depends on what it is. I want to say Lady Loki is hard to gauge because I made it and then I revamped it.
Mm,
Um Last year for New York, I made a Cara Dune and Mandalorian and I made the full
Oh,
armor
nice.
for both of them. And that took me working every night for maybe 3-4 hours. It took
Mhm.
me 2 months, I want to say.
2 months. Okay, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and you
Uh,
paint everything yourself. You
Yeah, that was sewing. That was when I learned how to sew. That was I officially like sewed the whole outfit and everything and and that was my first time working with foam and making armor and yeah, that
it
was a
looks
big project for me.
it looks so good though. Like it's like detailed. Like it's really really good. Like I wouldn't get past the horns. So Chubsy, our uncle Chubsy
no,
Wubsy.
this is our
This is
auntie.
Mrs. Wubsy. Yeah, our aunt asks, "Do you find the preparation for cosplay overwhelming?" And this is from Mrs. Wubsy.
It definitely can be.
Okay.
Yeah, whether that's day of or while making it because so actually while making it is especially overwhelming because like I said before, a lot of the techniques that I use, I
Hmm.
don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a
Okay.
professional like costumer in any sense. So in my head, I'm like mapping out all these plans and like blueprinting and everything, but not everything always works out how you hope it will. So it's definitely that like troubleshooting and like swearing over the kitchen counter at 3 a.m., wondering if it's actually going to get done. It can be very overwhelming.
I hear you. I hear that. Now, a good question. Like, do you like which do you prefer the most? Because I see a lot of photos. Do you prefer the photos or do you prefer some? I know some cosplayers do videos. They like do
Mhm.
video packages. Which one do you prefer the most?
I definitely that's hard because I like acting too. I think I think I prefer the photos just because it's a bit easier. I'm attempting to make TikToks every once in a while, but that's like
Hmm.
that's a lot for me to be honest. I know some people are very quick with it. Like they'll hear an audio and they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I could do this character." I have
Instantly
one
have an
friend
idea.
who yeah, I have one friend who will hear something once and automatically he's like, "Oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do." And I'm like, "That just sounds like a clip from Always Sunny. What are you talking about?"
We got a couple
I
of
feel
like
like
okay.
between Danny and I'm definitely I'm that friend. I'm the I'll hear a
Oh,
clip or
yeah.
I'll hear the audio from a reel and I was like, I got an idea. I'm gonna use this.
Yeah, he
Oh,
Don't
definitely
talk
I
to me
definitely
for
has
the
wish I
next
was
two
like
hours.
that.
I gotta go make a reel.
as he's doing that, I'm like, well, I gotta heat up this Chef Boyardee. I'm really hungry right now. We got a couple of Raven says you did an amazing job on that low key. Yes,
Oh,
she did.
thank you.
Collector 425 says Unworthy Addiction is awesome, hardest working guy. Thank you, I appreciate that. Dan says
Wow.
cosplay is a way like multiverse. We're all variants of each other sharing the same love of our favorite characters. Absolutely,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
Love that.
And then Collector 425 says the Black Cat cosplay is amazing. Yes,
Thank you.
this is actually, believe it or not, this is actually my favorite photo. And the only reason it's my favorite photo, not only because it's an amazing photo, but this is the photo that really resonated. I have identical twins.
Mm,
And you know, I it was nice to show finally because our show could get a little crazy and there's times I can't really show them too much. But like
mm.
when the opportunity came to actually show them something that, all right, dad's not being dad, he's just being whatever. So when I showed them this photo, I said, hey, listen, this is the guest we're gonna have on. She does cosplay. and they're like, and like instantly they were like, "Wow, she really did a good job." I was like, I was thought it was
Oh,
the show. Like they were like complimenting, and I was like,
I love that.
and it was great. But that's the thing. Do you get like I know in conventions kids go. Like, do you get a lot of like kids come up and like want to take photos with you? And how does that make you feel in that moment? Because me personally, like somebody telling me that, hey, are you unworthy? I feel special. Like I feel like
Oh, yeah.
I feel super famous. So how does that feel? How does that for you?
Oh my gosh. No, I love when kids come up. So there's a picture somewhere on my Instagram. When I did She-Hulk at Fan Expo Philly, this little boy came up with a Hulk mask. So
Oh yeah.
automatically he's like, he loves a Hulk, but it's amazing when kids know, like, oh, that's She-Hulk. So to me, I'm
Yeah.
like, wow, how do you even know what that is?
Yeah.
But from the eyes of a kid too, like, you are that character.
Yeah.
And that's what it's such a cool feeling. I love when kids come up, and you're just able to just be their fantasy for a minute.
Yeah,
That's
they're
awesome.
meeting a celebrity. You know, they're meeting a
Hmm.
celebrity, a character that they care
Yeah.
about.
Mhm.
It's like going to Disney. Like little kids, they
Exactly.
don't know the difference. They know they see Mickey and they see Donald. Like going to a convention, they see like little girls see She-Hulk, they see Wonder Woman, they see Storm, they see all these characters, and to them, to us,
Mhm.
it's like, hey, it's cosplay. To them, it's like it's fucking Storm. Like, Dad, it's Storm.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So it's even me. Like, I'm a grown man. I'm like, it's fucking Storm. Like, so it's like I'm telling you, it's the level of like work you guys put into like just the stuff that you guys do. And it's crazy too because it's like some like most times, I want to say most times that I've seen like cosplayers, I'm like, that should have been in the movie. Like I like this design better than whatever this design was in the movie because it's like somebody needs to hire whoever did this. Now,
Right.
um somebody had asked here a question. Boda Hub asks, how much does she love Zatanna?
I
So
love
how much?
Zatanna.
So
Oh
are
my
you a big
god.
Zatanna fan? Okay.
I am, yes, and actually I have a Zatanna cosplay, and it's funny because it doesn't look very comfortable, but that is my most comfortable cosplay.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So also, you put on your put on your story a little while back, and you had been asking about like what cosplays do you want to see, and I misread it, and I thought you said which was your
Oh.
favorite, and like I immediately answered, I was like Zatanna was the best, hands down.
Oh, I remember that. No, I love that cosplay. I want more excuses to bring this one out.
I mean, if it
Loren
were me, I'd be going to work. I'd go right to work
Oh my
in
god.
my, you know,
in the Zatanna outfit,
hell yeah, yeah. If it was that
I'm,
comfortable and I loved it that much, hell
I
yeah, I'd
would
just go
I
right
would
to
pay
work in it.
I would
You
pay
see
to
me
see
walking into Dunkin' Donuts to fix their brewers, and I'm
that.
like in
Can
my
I get a
Zatanna
pumpkin
costume.
spice, please, light and sweet? Oh, that's me. I'm sorry. Lorenzo says, it's the best feeling in the world when people see your cosplays and they're like, "Wow, yes, absolutely."
Mhm.
Like, how many like now? Do you have your own photographer that like just follows you around and takes photos of you?
Oh my gosh. No,
I've
absolutely
seen.
not.
Only reason I ask. Only reason I ask is because I've been to New York Comic Con and I've
Mhm.
seen like cosplayers who like they'll give you a card because they want you to check. They're trying to plug themselves, so they'll give you a card. But then there's this just same photographer, and I've been going since like 2013. So
Mhm.
a lot of like the same cosplayers go, so I'm kind of familiar with them already. So
Right.
there's like the same camera guy following them around, taking photos, but allowing others to take photos as well. Like, do you have like your own camera person, or is just like you're there just to kind of, hey, you want to take a photo of me? You can, because I know in that back
Mhm.
area where all the food trucks are, that's like
The
the spot.
tunnel.
The tunnel is the spot where
Yep.
everybody goes to take photos and all. This is where all the magic happens, right? So, like,
Yep.
do you have your own photographer, or do you just go and hey, if you want to take a photo, go ahead.
No, yeah, I definitely I have scheduled shoots at conventions before, but I definitely don't have a photographer, like a set photographer for anything. I love working with different people because everyone, just like when you guys take pictures, everyone has their own styles and everyone has their own stories to tell. So I love seeing the work of others, and I
That's
love
awesome.
being able to be a subject for them too. Because like to me, that's photography and cosplay. It's an art form.
Yeah.
So being able to participate in somebody's creative growth, creativity, like I love it. It goes back into I love when people have passions.
That's fantastic.
And it's
Oh, what?
especially I would imagine for cosplayers and photographers for cosplayers, it's got to be some sort of symbiote, it's almost like a symbiotic experience to where
Mhm.
Absolutely.
you have your vision on how things should look, the photographer has their vision on how things should look,
hmm
and you got to work together in that
Yeah.
process
It's that
to
collaboration.
come up with
Exactly.
stuff. Yeah.
88 Fix says, I still gush whenever a Disney princess waves at me.
Honestly, me too.
Suck My Croc says, please don't take this the wrong way. He says, bring Jamie to the DCEU. Let me stop. I'm telling my kids I knew Zatanna.
I love that.
He also says, but do you do body work for cosplay, meaning for life like She-Hulk? Did you spend time in the gym? Oh, great question. Okay.
So, in general, I spend time in the gym. Not specifically for cosplay, but working out and the gym is it's another one of my hobbies. It's very important to me. Uh, However, I actually made a story about this not too long ago, but there's definitely some things in cosplay where not everything is what it seems. So, like there's in my She-Hulk cosplay, I'm wearing a corset.
Okay.
So while I work out and I'm very proud of my body, I don't look like that. I wish. But nobody looks like that. Nobody has the proportions of a comic book character where it's
Yeah.
like you're like big chested and like small, tiny waist and long,
Yeah.
amazing legs. Like nobody looks like that.
No. Only in my dreams
And,
I look
and
like David Hasselhoff.
yeah, and
Um,
furthermore, you wouldn't want like these chiseled comic book
yeah.
characters walking around in real
Imagine.
life because that'd be kind of frightening, really. If you think like I always think of like the Superman from Dark Knight Returns. Like if he
Oh
was a
yeah.
real person walking around with that body, that'd be
Oh my
frightening.
gosh.
That's a problem. But that I think I read that art, like that little post that you put on as
Mhm.
far as like the thing, and it goes back to just kind of being like comfortable in your skin and just kind of like, but also
Absolutely.
too expressing that because again, like a lot of the ladies, like even like I'm a father of like a bunch of girls, right? Dad,
Mhm.
girl,
Hmm.
dad, all the my girl
Like
dad,
17 of them.
like 17 of them. I have a bunch of them. So like even like them, like there's times where like I have conversations with them about like their bodies and how they're, how they
Mhm.
should feel comfortable in their bodies and stuff. Like I had one of my daughters at one time feeling like she was a little too pudgy, and I would always make the joke like, "Well, there's more room to hug. There's more to hug." You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Little things like that. So that right there again for like little kids who do come up to you, or even like somebody like have you had talks like this with like kids? Like have you had these like little
Yeah, I
conversations
think
like that's
in
how
life
being
I have definitely
okay.
I don't think I have centered around cosplay specifically, but just in
Okay.
life because especially with social media is
Yeah.
what it is. It's so hard to cuz I just can't imagine being an impressionable mind scrolling through some of the stuff you see. Because even me as an adult, sometimes I'm like, wow, people look like this. And you have to kind of remind yourself, it's like so much of social media is fake. There's digital alteration, there's, surgical whatever. So it's definitely a conversation to have with kids and yourself all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Like it's definitely
Yeah.
one of those things. Yeah, go ahead, I'm worthy.
Social media can be a benefit. It can be a good thing, but it can also
Mhm.
Hmm.
be a very toxic place
Absolutely.
Dealing with people. Anytime you have to deal with people, it
Yeah.
tends to get, it can go
Very
sideways
true.
in a hurry.
Very true.
Um. So I want to say, what does cosplay mean to you? That's like my like. What is that? What is that whole like this whole thing that you do? Like, right? What does that mean
Hmm.
to you? Just cosplaying.
It's oh man, it means everything to me, to be honest. It's been such a amazing journey, just whether, like I said, whether it's learning things,
Hmm.
skill sets, but also it builds my confidence. It's my way to tap into my, what's it called? Like when your like childhood mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, nostalgia.
Um, yeah. It's so much. Like, I don't know if there's even one word that I can come up with that encapsulates it all, but
Yeah.
cosplay just it's been my rock for a little bit.
That's awesome. Shoot, what's going on,
Now,
buddy?
do you ever have when you're trying to decide what your next cosplay is going to be? Do you ever struggle as sorry, as to what you're going to do, or or are you inspired by something that's like, I don't care what my original plan is, this is going to be my next one?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Oh
you just have
yeah.
moments where you're like, I don't know what I want?
Yeah. Well, I wish I had moments like that, but I actually have a whole list on my phone, like in the notes of cosplays that I want to do. It just
Mm.
changes all the time of what's going to come first. And definitely some things come up where like a movie will come out and I like really really resonate with a character. I'm like, oh, that, well, screw everything else, I'm not going to do that one now. um so it can be overwhelming, and it can just, yeah, I have a big list, I really do.
So you don't have a lack of inspiration. That's always good.
No, absolutely. I told you, I like obsess very easily. So most characters I'm like in love with immediately.
That's awesome.
Have you ever had an idea for one and you're like, I have to do this no matter what, but then you start thinking of the logistics and it's like, this is going to be a nightmare to actually pull off?
Yeah, Namora was that one for me, because
Mm.
so Black Panther 2 came out last November, and I remember posting on my story a picture of the outfit and the actress, and I was like, "Am I crazy if I wanna do that?" And at the time, I was, like, kinda joking because 'cause I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna there's no way." And then I thought about it, I'm like, "Ah."
That's cool, man. I like that.
Yeah. I thought about it, and I was like, "No, I loved that character, I loved the background of it, I loved the outfit itself, like, yeah, I'll do it." And then I sat on it for months because it's the fins on the headdress, and there's
Yeah.
fins on my hips and the neck piece, and I, like, didn't know how to do it because they're, like, semi see-through, and I just
Yeah.
wanted it to look so good, and I didn't want
Yeah.
to not put my full effort into it.
Hmm.
So I remember I started like gathering materials in March, and I still like I was like, no, I can't. I don't know. I made a prototype for a fin and I was like, no, that didn't come out good. I can't do it. So I stopped for months. And then Comic-Con's coming around. And this was the plan for Comic-Con because I was like,
Hmm.
oh, this is going to be perfect for that. And I was still like, no, I can't do it. And then 2 weeks before, literally 2 weeks, I was like, let's try it. Let's just try it.
Found all
So
that
I built,
motivation you were lacking.
yeah.
Yeah. There
Yeah,
you
all of
go.
a sudden I was like, you know what? No, you said you're going to do it, so just sit down and do it. And 2 weeks, 14 days, I built that whole thing.
Wow,
That's awesome.
that was going to be my next question. Is you said the other one took like 2 months, so this is only 2 weeks. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's that is crazy. That's dedication.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Rodriguez asks, dream team or couples cosplay?
Oh, wow. I've done a few collabs with a few people.
Hey, shout
Like
us out, buddy.
I did a Black Cat and Spider-Man collab that I That was a big one that I wanted to do. I did the Cara Dune and Mando. That was another big one that I just really wanted to get through. I really would love to do a She-Hulk and Daredevil. That would be fun.
Jedi Jack, you hear
that? No, please. And then I really, it's a weird one, but I really want to do a Batman and Zatanna shoot because they have a really fun dynamic with each other because they're like friends.
Yeah.
So I really want to do that.
That'd be great.
I actually just recently did a Batman cosplay. I'm not allowed to show any of the pictures though because my wife, my wife said, "Do not ever show these."
Oh no!
When I say impressive, I mean it was the least impressive thing.
Oh no!
That was my Halloween costume. We all went as the Bat family.
That's awesome.
We got Cobra Dad in the house. Jay Shaw says
everybody's favorite dad.
Yes, everybody's favorite dad. He says that con crutch makes you do things. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Mrs. Websy says your photos truly depict how much you embrace what you do. Very inspiring.
Oh, thank you so much.
So yeah, absolutely. Now,
so was this a collab, or was this just this was somebody that you ran into and decided to take some pictures with?
No, so this is actually my friend Charlie. We met on Instagram, and this is the first time we met in person was to do this shoot at Fan Expo Philly, and she's a female Matt Murdock, to my She-Hulk, and these are some of my favorite pictures.
Yes, all these ones that you did here with this this version of Daredevil, these were actually the first ones that I saw of your cosplays.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Man, we've been talking about getting cosplayers on. I gotta try to see if we can make this.
No, she's so awesome. That's the thing about the community that I love too, is I've been able to meet so many amazing people and so many amazing craftsmen, and make so many actual friends that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. So this community means so much to me.
How long does it take?
So much fun too.
Oh yeah.
How long does it take to put on the green? I need to know. And what do you? Is it like just? And forgive me, I'm an amateur here because I don't know anything. Like, is it like somebody's like painting on you, or is it like airbrush? Like how do you do that? Because it looks perfect. Like me, I would mess it all up.
I appreciate that so much because actually the legs and the arms are tights. So they're not paint. I did a long color match on that. That was the thing that worried me the most because for none of my cosplays, I don't paint my whole body. It's just too much work. So being able to make that color match happen was so exciting. But then the face and the chest is all water-based paints.
Okay.
It takes about an hour and a half to paint myself and get like the wig on and everything, but it comes out really nice.
So wait, you do this by yourself? Like nobody?
Absolutely.
I would I would lose my mind just I wouldn't be able to. Wow.
The arms and like even the hands, they're like a sleeve glove.
So I took like the tights that you wear on your on your legs, and I made them into like socks.
That's so dope.
Yeah.
Now on a hot day, that's got to be, you're suffering for your art form here.
That's actually a point of concern for when you're doing body paint, especially water-based, because if you sweat, it's done. It's gone. It's washed away. So that's the only thing that kind of is sad about the paint. You just don't overdo it because you just put all your effort and work into it and you don't want to sweat it off.
Do you have somebody follow you around with extra paint for what you do sweat off?
So actually, with She-Hulk, I carry like a briefcase purse and I have touch-up paint in there just in case.
And it goes with the outfit too, because
right.
briefcase.
I remember New York Comic Con. They had a whole section. And this was like a while ago. They had a whole section where they only specialize in like fixing whatever your cosplay. Oh shoot! I didn't
Right.
even know you did the red
So
Hulk. I
I
didn't.
didn't
That's so
I
badass.
haven't yet. I would love to do Red Hulk, but actually that photographer, Mark, New York cosplayer, he made that edit and it looks
Oh,
so
okay.
good.
I was like, yeah, you could afford.
Yeah,
Yo,
that's the
wow.
original one. Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm colorblind. I'm red green colorblind, so I didn't realize this was Red Hulk. But now doing this, back and forth between these two, I can see a little
Yeah. Now, did
I
you
would
ever
love to do
stop
that.
at did you ever stop at those places? Like, remember, I don't know if you remember, but did you ever stop at those places that had a little section? I want to say it was before Artist Alley. This is like a while ago,
Mm.
where they would have like people there who would had glue, like hot glue or like paint and stuff, and they would like touch up like if somebody, because again, I'm assuming like when
Yeah.
you're traveling or something happens, you get a mishap or clothes malfunction, something's going on, right? Because
Mhm.
nothing's always perfect.
Oh,
Have you ever
all the
had an
time.
experience like that where you've had like a mix app where something was just not working, something broke on you, maybe paint was
Oh,
running
yeah.
and stuff, and how did
All the
you?
time. The one running joke about cosplay is that if you're wearing it to a convention, it's gonna break. Like something is going to break.
Yeah, absolutely.
I remember when I did Cara Dune, I made that she has a holster, and I had made it out of foam. And as soon as I got to Javits, I put the gun in the holster and ripped it. So that was done for the day, and the day just started. So
Starting out hot.
usually, yeah, of course. Usually you bring like glue or something, or you go to the Paladins cosplay, I believe they're called, but to help you like fix something. And I've had friends go to get things fixed, and they're perfect. They're
Mhm,
amazing. Every year they're wonderful. And even this year, Saturdays when I did Namora and it was
mhm.
raining. It was raining
Oh,
bad.
Oh no.
So I had stopped there at one point to hopefully get like some paint touch up because
mhm.
that was a fun day.
Oh my goodness.
So with Namora, was it the similar with She-Hulk? The face and chest is painted, and then the arms and the rest is just
Yep,
a suit. And that's got to
That's
be
so
exactly.
so
cool.
miserably hot. I'm sorry, that's got to be hot.
It can be. That's why, listen, I'm always looking at the weather. I'm like, please don't be above like 75 because I will
Be
not
exposed.
survive.
Or just get a buddy with a little portable fan, just
I
walking
carry
around.
one. I
Do you
carry
really?
one. Yeah, because it gets hot.
'Cause you're
I
like
got
the whole
yeah.
time. You're like, uh,
Exactly.
But
uh,
even like the Cara Dune, that outfit had to be pretty toasty,
yeah.
with the armor and
I think I remember that year too, Comic-Con being abnormally warm for October.
Oh yeah.
So it happens, It's the thing about cosplay, for me, I don't prioritize comfort as much as I probably should.
Hmm.
But, you got to commit to the bit.
yeah. And one of my wife's most famous sayings is, "For beauty you must suffer," and I feel like that's like the motto. That's the motto for cosplayers.
It can be because
If
every
you want to
every
look good, you got to
time.
be uncomfortable.
Exactly. I think there's one cosplay I do that I'm not in heels. And I tell myself every time, like, maybe don't do heels this time because it
Hmm.
hurts. You're
Yeah.
walking around all day and it hurts. And then I forget and I'm like, oh yeah, this is why. This is why I always say that.
That's
I didn't cosplay, but I did go to Legion's Con, and I spent 2 days walking around in my cowboy boots. And about 6 hours in on the first day, I was like, I really probably should have brought sneakers.
it's it happens.
at some point somebody stopped and say, "Are you Woody?" No, he's just wearing cowboy boots. Shoot says, "You're absolutely nailed the She-Hulk.
Oh,
Outstanding."
thank you.
Lorenzo says, "I've seen the green in person twice. Incredible." He also says, "Hey, what's me as Deadpool?"
Hmm.
um, Chubsy, this is Mr. Chubsy. He's got me painting Mrs. Wubsy green. Okay, you're inspiring people today here.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
No, Mrs. Wells is going red. Nope, yes, was red. And Rodriguez says you'd kill a zombie She-Hulk. That'd be good.
Oh, that's a fun
Well,
one.
that's a great question. What is a cosplay, right, that you have
Mhm.
not done that you want to do at some point?
Oh,
Like, what's a
Well, she said
character
she's
you
got
would
a
love?
whole list. She's got a
yeah.
whole
Should
list.
I pull out
Well,
the?
you maybe should.
Also, I listen. Hold
She has
on.
this. She's like, wait, let me pull it out right now.
It's right here.
Well, while you're
Cosplay
looking,
ideas.
there you go.
So there's so many that I would love to do. Right now, I'm really into. I would love to do Catwoman. That's a big
Oh,
one for
nice,
me. Hawk Girl. I love
nice.
the challenge of making the wings. So I think that's a big one that I'm going to do this year.
Nice.
Are you gonna make it so the wings articulate so like they will
I
actually
want
spread out?
to. And that's just one of those things again where I just like I don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to try.
I've seen some videos where people have the wings on like hinges
Yeah,
and stuff so that they can
Yeah.
yeah.
spread them way out, and it's incredible stuff.
I think
That is.
yeah, if I can do it well, then I think it could be so cool.
It would.
Absolutely.
And then another big one for this year is Yara Floor. She was Wonder Girl. So another
Okay.
character I love.
Nice.
That's gotta happen. That's gotta
Yeah, those comics, one of my favorite.
Oh, she
Well,
is so top notch.
Hmm
And good writing for those comics too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put me and Unworthy on the spot here. What cosplay would you choose for me and Unworthy individually? Hold
Oh
on. Let's do it
man.
individually and let's do it as a pair, right?
Oh gosh, okay.
Oh boy.
Wait, but that
And
has
then
a lot to do with what you guys like. So my thing with cosplay is I think you should always cosplay who you love. Like regardless of what you look like. I to me cuz another big thing is anyone can cosplay regardless of how you look,
yeah,
regardless of your color, anything.
yeah.
So, I think the passion behind the characters that vibe with you comes through so much when you just do it.
hmm So you
I
want
think
to
I
know
would
what
make a
we?
pretty good Sinestro at that point then.
I think you would make a nice Sinestro. I think you would, but let her choose.
No, before you said you in our talk before you had said something about Jay and Silent Bob, and honestly, I really think you guys should do that. I think that'd be
We
so
should.
good.
We definitely should do that.
I would love to see that at a convention.
Maybe next year for Comic Con. I told Danny I was gonna go to New
Yeah.
York City.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's planning on coming to New York Comic Con. I told him, like,
I'll just
listen,
get a nice little blonde wig to put under my hat.
that'd be dope, and I just get the hat with the little and the little
There
trench
you
coat. That would be
go.
It'd
fantastic.
be the
Now,
easiest job you've ever done. You won't have to talk at all.
no, at all. I just be quiet. That would be hard. No, the hardest job. That would be the hardest job. Now you go to now I know because even me, right? You go to the conventions. Now, besides cosplaying, do you take time to actually go like do you visit Artist Alley? And if so, like or
Oh
do you
yeah.
visit like vendors and stuff? And if so, like when you're at Comic Con, who are you going to go see if you're going to go see a celebrity? If you're
Mhm.
going to go see a comic artist, what comics are you looking for? Like what are you doing at Comic Con besides cosplay? Because I'm assuming you don't just I mean some people do just go just to cosplay, but I do see
Mhm.
some cosplayers who like they go into Artist Alley and they're looking for
Oh
stuff. You know,
yeah.
they're still, enjoying the scenery and buying stuff. So what do you do when you're at Comic Con?
So honestly, I tend to be one of those people that go to cosplay and I walk around and I enjoy what everyone does, especially Artist Alley. Like I love again, I just love people and their passions. So people like making
Mhm.
stuff and
Yeah.
like just showing it and everything. Oh, I enjoy that so much. I'm not a big person on doing the celebrity stuff just because
Yeah.
it's a little expensive.
It's
Um,
ridiculous. Yeah, you're right.
yeah. But I love the environment of
Mhm.
conventions and it like the hustle and bustle, but also you there's moments in it you just realize you're like, wow, this is kind of like a utopia. These are my people. We're
Yeah.
all here being like giant nerds and loving
Mhm.
it. And I look forward to conventions all the time.
The camaraderie,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
the creative juices get flowing there. That's pretty much how
Exactly.
the Legions Con was for us. I didn't go
Yeah.
for Legions Con. I went
Mm.
to be able to meet all these people that I've been talking to and getting to know over the last few
Yeah.
years online.
It's so awesome.
It is fantastic.
There
Now,
were celebrity types at Legions Con, and I think they were all kind of annoyed that I didn't know who they were.
Oh no, it happens. It does happen in cosplay. It happens too, where like some people have egos. It happens.
no, of course. It's funny how
Camaraderie, though, that's that I love that as an answer for the
yeah,
that's
right.
the reason I go to these
Absolutely.
things.
We're definitely notorious for like having like people that are like really big and they're like, "Hey, did you?" And you're like, "No, we haven't."
Oh
And
no.
it's not. And
Yeah,
it's
I
not.
don't want to. I had a very interesting conversation in the elevator. I don't want to. I'm not going to mention any names, but I had a very interesting conversation in the elevator this weekend. And then I walked out and I said, "Danny, I was like, man, I didn't know who so and so
Well,
was,
it's a
and I didn't
honest.
know that I was supposed to know who they were
No, it's
either."
a. But
It
that's the thing. It's an
happens.
honest. It's like you said. There's like, I mean, with us, it's like we're so used to like the group of certain people that we're used
Hmm.
to, right? So like again, like just learning new people. Like I don't think that's
Hmm.
offensive. Like if somebody comes up to me and is like, "Hey, I got this big show on YouTube," and I'm like, "Do you know me?" And I'm like, "No." Like I don't think that's offensive. That's an honest
I don't.
answer.
No,
Like
yeah.
if you want to
You
sell it
don't
to
want
me,
to just.
sell it
You
to
don't
me.
want to fire off with no. You want to say, yeah,
So
oh yeah, this sounds familiar. I think I've
no,
heard of
I'm
them
gonna be
before.
like,
You don't want
no,
to just
sir.
go,
To be
no.
honest.
I'll be like, I don't recall, sir.
No, it happens because even like I'm the worst at knowing people when it comes to like the bigger creators. So all the
Mhm.
time like my friends will be next to me and be like, "Oh my god, that's," and I'm like, "Who? I don't
Yeah,
I don't know, but I'd love to know."
yeah. Yeah,
Now,
I mean,
Jamie, have you?
since that conversation I had
Mhm.
in the elevator, I did look into these people, and I'm very interested in learning more. I just
There you go.
didn't know at
See,
the
now
time,
now you know.
and knowing
Now,
is
Jamie,
half the battle. GI Joe.
Exactly.
Jamie, have you ever had any like when you take your photos and stuff? Have you ever had any celebrities like your photos, like or even like comment on your photos, anything like that? Or
I
even like
actually go ahead.
no, go ahead. No, I'm
Oh,
listening.
okay. No, because I know a lot of people just, and this
Mhm.
is purely because I forget.
Okay.
A lot of people will post their pictures and like tag like the show and the actors and everything, and
Mhm.
that's how you get seen by those people, and I forget. I know though, like I went to a convention not too long ago, and I was a featured creator there. So I was able to like go into the green room where all the
Mhm.
like celebrity guests were too. And this is, I don't know if
Ballin'.
yeah, right. And this isn't like an A-lister or anything, but I had a voice actor for a video game that
Oh,
I
nice.
like. Yeah, he stopped me and he was like, "You look amazing. Like that, you made that." And I was like, "Yeah, I did. And you're talking to me." So that was very cool.
That's
That's
awesome.
cool. Yeah. I don't know what I
Um,
would do. I always think about when like the cons coming up, like toy cons and stuff like that. I'm a big DC guy, so like I'm hot
Yeah.
on McFarlane figures, and I always think about like what if I walked into Todd McFarlane and he's like, "Oh man, I really like your pictures. You do a really good job with your pictures." I'd be like, "That's it, everybody. Uncle Todd's
Right?
adopting me."
well, there was that guy. What was that guy? That guy Blaine from NECA. I collect NECA toys, and like I
Mm.
walked
Mm.
up to him during the convention. I was like, "You are the best toy company in the whole thing," because I only collect their
He got
toys.
awkward. He did.
And it
He
was
was
like,
one of those
for real,
people that you're
like
like,
at
get
some
The
arm's
big
length
fanboy
from me.
moment.
at some point it was like it went from saying that he was like, "Oh, thank you," and I was like, "Can I buy you a drink or something?"
Oh my
No,
god.
Yeah.
no, I did.
I
It was
love
that
that.
I
funny.
No,
had to
I would love
I had
that.
to walk up and put my arm around and be like, "Come on, Danny, he's got other
Oh
people to
no, we
talk
gotta
about."
go.
Please, please. We have Mark Lugal is on. He says this conversation is all. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yes, awesome. It's great to learn
Mark is
about
awesome.
cosplay, and also Jamie. He says definitely do the VAT. It says blunt man. Yeah, dude, that would be dope. Definitely do that. He says definitely Catwoman.
Oh.
It says yes.
Yes, that's what we're gonna do. Snoochie boo.
Amazing cosplay bills over the just 1 year. Can't wait to see what's next. That's awesome. And then
Oh.
lastly, Jamie is awesome to me at any con. Awesome vibes every time. I'm excited
Oh, thank
because
you,
now that I
Mark.
know that you go to New York Comic Con, now I know I'm like gonna skip all the other cosplayers. I'm gonna be like, screw
Oh
you
no.
guys. Where the
No.
hell is it? Like as soon as a cosplayer walks up to me, it's like, hey, how's it going? I was like, is your name Jamie? Like, no,
Oh
get the hell
no.
out of here. I'm not gonna do that. I won't do that, I promise. But
Oh.
one question that I had for you is have you ever like thought about taking a break? Has there ever been a time where you've just been so overwhelmed like with just cosplaying and stuff? Not that you're just tired, because we get to that point, right? Sometimes where
Mm.
like it's just like, oh, like I don't want to do this. I want to kind of take it. Have you ever been to a convention and just kind of just went just to go, or ever felt like, hey, I want to take a break from this for a bit. I want to just focus on other stuff.
I not yet, but
Okay.
honestly, the thing that I have felt the most is fatigue of social media, to be honest, because
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
just a lot, and like it's a lot on you mentally.
Yeah.
So there has been moments where I'm like, man, maybe I should like take a week off, like just not open Instagram for a minute.
Yeah. For real.
Yeah, but cosplay itself, I try to space things out enough.
Hmm.
Clearly I took like 7 months to not make a cosplay and then stress
Yeah.
myself out by making it in 2 weeks.
And
But
then nailed it. You nailed it.
no, I appreciate that.
Like, imagine if you had taken that 7 months to make it.
Imagine, who
You know,
knows?
Yeah.
you would
Right.
have just been obsessing over it and making all these different things.
Probably.
But then you waited like a true procrastinating champ and
That's true.
nailed it out of the park in 2 weeks.
That's
Do
awesome.
you think it would have turned out better or even if you had spent that whole time? Or
That's so funny
how,
because I
how do you
actually
feel?
I don't know. I don't know if I've ever had that thought of like, oh wow, what if I did take more time for that one? Because to be honest, I look at that one and I truly think I did the very best that I could have done.
Mm.
Yeah, you
And I'm
answered.
proud of that one.
So that is one thing I will say is a little bit similar to like the photography that we do. Is sometimes
Mhm.
we will have these grand ideas and we'll
Hmm.
spend hours or days setting them up and take them, and then on our gratification or whatever is strictly to likes, shares, comments, because we're
Right.
not actually face to face with these people. So we'll spend hours and hours setting these things up and get maybe 100 likes, and then something that we did that took us 5 minutes that we just
Hmm.
threw together will
Yeah.
somehow get 2, 3, 400 likes, and it's like, well, how the
Yeah.
hell did that happen? I literally didn't even try with this.
That was the best work you've done. Like what? I hated this photo.
I literally threw this together in 10 minutes. What do you mean?
I broke my
Oh my
camera
gosh.
taking this photo. Lorenzo says Jamie is a shapeshifter.
I try.
Midnight, what's up, buddy? And then Lorenzo says it's necessary to take a break. The mental health thing helps you recharge and about it. Absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Because I could only imagine how like sometimes it's just kind of like, I mean, it does eventually does like get overwhelming, right? Because there's just
Oh
so much
yeah.
thought you put into it. So like it is necessary, because even like Unworthy was saying, the kind of like there are times where there's times, even me, like I don't post a photo for like a whole week, and it's
Mhm.
just because like I've always said that, to me, whatever hobby I've ever did, it was always going to be fun. It was never going to be a job for me. And not to
Right.
discredit anybody who wants to make a career out of it,
Mhm.
or has a, whatever, or wants to land a gig, right? Whatever it is.
Right.
Not to discredit those people, because I always support those people and I always wish nothing but the best. But I'm one of those people that, like, to me, it's always been the fun, right? And when
Mhm.
whatever I love, like, it's when whatever I'm doing stops.
So I think one question that we did not ask, which is an important question I like to
Mm.
ask everybody, is kind of the origin story in your name. So your
Oh.
IG handle is Jamie Bear Fancy Pants,
Right.
and obviously your real name, your first name is Jamie. So how did
Yep.
you go from Jamie to Jamie Bear Fancy?
Oh, this is a fun story because eventually it's going to age me so bad, and it honestly might already. But back in like 2003, 4, 5, when like flash games were a big thing online, there was a game called The Adventures of Fancy Pants, and it was literally just like this little stick character in these like orange pants, and it was just like a platformer. That was all it was, and for some reason, me being, like, 7 or whatever, was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna make that my personality," and l I don't know where Bear came from, to be honest. I think it just sounded good, but Jamie Bear Fancy Pants has been, like, with me from a very early time in the internet.
Okay. So I was expecting something like it was like maybe Jamie Bear was a pet name. So
Oh.
like like my daughter, I always call her Boo Bear. Like that's my nickname.
Oh.
So I was expecting something like that, but that's actually way cooler than I kind of when I was writing it down to ask that question, I was like, I bet it's something like this. But your answer is infinitely more cool than what I had made up in my head for it.
That's funny, I
How
love that,
long?
though.
So you've been doing it. You've been doing this since you were younger, doing the anime
Mhm.
stuff. Do
Yeah.
you plan on continuing to do more of the anime cosplays, or?
That's actually so funny because I was talking about it recently with a friend, because in New York this weekend is, um, anime New York? It's an anime convention at Javits, um, that's pretty big, and my friend had asked me, like, "Oh, are you gonna go?" And I'm like, Not really, I'm not really into anime right now." I think the only ones I really like, get really into is Attack on Titan and maybe a couple others that I dabble in. But, I said it before, like, phases come back, and I could feel myself wanting to get back into anime. So, yeah,
Sorry
it's
about that.
definitely possible.
So do you don't currently like your ebbs and flows your interest in certain things, so you don't
Mhm.
currently watch a lot of anime other than like very specific.
Hmm.
Right, right. I would love
That's
to,
kind
though,
of
so, like, any recommendations, I will absolutely take from anybody.
well, I can't give you any recommendations for anime. I honestly I heard of the blue chainsaw guy and the chainsaw face guy, and I
Chainsaw
Yeah.
thought he was pretty
Headman,
cool.
yeah.
But then I tried to watch a little bit of it, and I have I almost have like an ADD type personality where I obsess on little details about things. So like I can't really watch movies where the dubbing is like from
Hmm.
another language to English because
Yep.
I realize that it's like that, and then I hyper
Hmm.
focused on the lips not lining up with the words, and then I
I
don't
Hmm.
know what
understand
the
that.
hell's going on in the show anymore. So that's my reason for not watching anime, and I know that's a terrible reason. I
No.
apologize to all of the anime fans out
And Jamie, what would you say is your pet peeve about cosplay?
Mm. I think I think my pet peeve in cosplay is more the negative side of the community because I think,
Mhm.
and that's with any
Yeah.
fandom, anything. There's always the awesome, wonderful side that you cling on to, but then there's always like the dark underbelly of it. Um, so there is like a bit of toxicity within it,
Yeah.
and I kind of touched on it before, whether it's
Hmm.
people feeling like they own a character, they're the
Hmm.
only one who can do that cosplay, or the egos that some people can build. And that's with social media in general. I think when you're getting, thousands of likes, it takes a strong person to not let it affect how you feel about yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's my answer to that.
Dixfig
I don't
says
know too much about. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Absolutely, go ahead.
I don't know too much about the culture of cosplay. I enjoy being able to view it from the outside. So knowing that there is some toxicity in general as far as owning a character, or maybe some shit talking about like, oh, I did that character and it was better or whatever, is one thing that I see a lot of in other sorts of media and personalities online is the opinions on gender swapping characters. That's something that is kind of a hot button thing with cosplay.
Yep.
Like if seeing somebody doing, like if you were to come to a cosplay dressed up as Red Hood, but in a Red Hood cosplay, is that something where people are going to be?
I
Like,
want to
oh,
see that
Red
now.
Hood.
that sounds pretty fun, actually. Not, I know definitely in the past that has been a thing. Not so much anymore that I've seen. And it's funny because I've been in the community in some way for so long that so much has changed in the culture of it, and it is a lot more open now, and I love that. Like before, it early days of the internet again, you would have somebody who was a different color than the character, and they would be absolutely torn apart for that. And unfortunately, it still can happen. But the community itself has been so much more open and just open to ideas too, whether that's what you're cosplaying or who you're cosplaying.
I would imagine that probably goes a lot too with the creativity and the planning and in delivering these characters.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't get upset seeing, somebody cosplaying as Captain America that's not white.
Right.
I would probably get upset seeing a white person cosplay as like Goliath or Falcon or Black Panther. Like there's some connotations differences in the delivery. If you can deliver it in a way that doesn't make you look like an asshole, then maybe.
No, definitely. And like that's a whole thing, because I'm Latina, so a lot of the characters I cosplay are not Latina. I have a big thing where if there is a Latina character that I really love, there's that connection. So I love doing those characters. But like Black Cat, I'm not blonde. I'm not even like her size. So that's another thing that I really get into is builds. Like your body shouldn't stop you from doing a cosplay either. So I just love being inclusive.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. No, and that says a lot to your creativity, and I appreciate seeing all of the cosplays that you've done. I didn't realize that was the race swapping or whatever. I didn't realize that was still such a big issue. I
It
do
can be,
see
yeah.
bitching back and forth about the gender swapping quite a bit, and it always annoys me. It always annoys me to see people like, oh, I can't believe it's with comic books too. Especially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I can't believe they're making Batman a woman. Well, pick up a
Right.
comic book from years ago. There's always been a female Batman.
There's always alternate.
Oh
versions of
yeah.
characters. Yeah. That's stupid.
No,
like, hey,
definitely. With Lady Loki, I get that sometimes where people don't realize that Lady Loki is a character herself. And I think the show has kind of helped that a little bit more, where people now do so many variants of Loki.
Yeah.
But when I had done that cosplay originally, the show might have just come out. But I had people being like, "Oh, so you're like a gender swap Loki?" It's like, no, I'm a character, but
it's like,
Lady
no,
Loki,
stupid.
go read it.
Go away. Digsfig says, if you could only subscribe to one YouTube channel for the rest of your life, why would you choose the Worthy Dick Pics? Worthy Dick Pics.
Oh,
You
I
know, Dick
love
Pics,
that.
I love that little plug. Much love to you. We'll send you your money soon, okay? Thank you.
Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail. Rodriguez says, Damin and Rain dual cosplay for the anime G Gundam would be tight. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I just wish I knew the names because I'd be like, yeah, right. Like I want to do that.
Yeah.
Come out so fake if I did that. And if Mike is a bit low, thank you. I appreciate that, Nico.
I tried turning it up. I'm sorry.
That sounds great. It sounds perfect. Now, this is actually one of my last questions, and I was almost asked you this question before, but I wanted to save it for the end. Little girl, little boy, doesn't matter, or anybody that wants to start cosplay, right?
Mhm.
What piece of advice would you give them? What would be the piece of advice that would you give them to kind of just kickstart their journey
Mhm.
into just cosplaying and after and just whatever. So go ahead.
My one advice, because I've had people come up to me and be like, "Oh man, I really want to start doing this, but I just don't know where to start,
Yeah.
and I don't know what to do." And like it, it sounds it sounds easier said than done, but like just do
Mhm.
it. Like start thinking about who you vibe with, the
Yeah.
characters that you love, the media that you consume, and you're gonna find someone that you're like, yeah, that would be so fun to do. And there's so many resources online. There's so many amazing people that do commissions for works and pieces and everything. So you're not alone. Like, don't ever think that you have to start from scratch and figure it
Mhm.
out. And that's just what I do because I'm crazy.
No.
But but there's so many people that are there to help you. And honestly, like
Mm.
I love when people ask me for either advice on like how to do something or just like back and forth, just throwing out ideas of how to do something. That's so
Mhm.
fun.
That's awesome. Midnight asks, Jamie, how much time can go into building a cosplay costume in average?
In
Great question.
average. Oof. It's hard. It really depends
2
on
weeks for the really good ones, apparently.
you're right. It depends. It depends on how big it is, what you're making it out of and everything. But I would probably say like if you want like a good cosplay that you're starting from scratch or something, you give it a good month.
And then Midnight asks also, Jamie, do you craft with foam a lot or do you do 3D print some parts for the cosplay? It's funny that he asks because Midnight Stars, he does 3D printing. He does amazing custom models.
Really?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And this is on figures. Like he customizes, he's done like tutorials on how to do it
Yeah.
online. He does amazing. So I see why he would ask. But go ahead.
No, that's awesome. I've not gotten the chance to do 3D work yet or 3D
Okay.
printing. I would love to get a printer, but even just like finding good people that do 3D printing because I
Mhm.
just don't. I work with foam more than anything because that's my medium right now. Is if I'm going to make something like armor or prop pieces or something, it's going to be foam. Um,
Unless you froze there a little.
I hear you guys.
Well, we can hear you. You just froze a little. It's
Oh,
okay.
okay. Well,
We
but
can
yeah,
hear you.
so I have not worked with 3D printing yet, but eventually that would be nice.
Okay.
All right,
Now,
so we've reached a section of our show where we normally would get into plugs. Before we get into plugs and quote of the night, I do have a few rapid fire questions. So your answer, don't without putting too much thought into it, is what we're looking for here.
Okay.
So
yeah, man, what's
first
up, dude?
one is DC or Marvel.
Oh, Marvel.
Oh,
Okay, Pepsi or Coke.
Coke, absolutely.
Horror movies or comedy movies.
A comedy.
And lastly, or no, sorry, not lastly, sneakers or Crocs.
I actually just bought a pair of Crocs, but I'm gonna have to go with sneakers.
okay.
And then this is the last one: because it's the season changing here. Pumpkin spice or peppermint mocha?
Oh, pumpkin spice. If you said eggnog, though, I would have been on board.
Oh yes, eggnog, good too. And that's a quite controversial topic too, because
It is.
you're Latina, Danny is Latino here. Is coquito, is that eggnog or is that not eggnog?
It's a form of it is eggnog, but it's like the I don't want to say Puerto Rican because everybody makes like all other Latinos make egg like coquito. So it's like our version, Latino version of eggnog. It's just
Mm.
I don't want to say it's Puerto Rico's thing because everybody does it. I've had coquito from like Ecuadorians and it's amazing. So have you ever had coquito, Jamie?
I have, yeah. I actually not for the first time not too long ago because I don't know if I'm Panamanian, so I don't know if we
Okay.
have a specific one.
I've had the equivalent of coquito that white people make. Like my sister made some pretty good coquito. I don't know if I'm saying that right even, but it was pretty fantastic. And I would
Oh, that's
say yes,
awesome.
it is equivalent to eggnog,
Yeah.
at least the way my sister made it was.
That man says every answer was wrong. How would you know? You're not Latino. I'm kidding. No, but like Unworthy said, this is Jamie. Listen, again, for all those watching, I understand this was definitely a different type of show that you guys were used to. But again, when me and Unworthy started the show, this was the mission of the show was to showcase people and different hobbies and how much they put into those hobbies. And again, this is a perfect example of just of a person who puts a lot of passion and a lot of effort and a lot of hard work into the stuff that she does. And also too, she's like willing to help out others, but is always willing to like as like she told us she's willing to just like, inspire others because she has, you know what I'm saying? So Jamie, we really appreciate you coming on
Oh,
and
thank
being with
you.
us. Jamie, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Honestly, just like I have cosplays that are coming out. If you guys want
Okay.
to check them out, my Instagram is going to be the first place they will be.
This and
Okay.
that is right here. Anybody that is not already following, go
Yes.
over to Instagram. It's at Jamie Bear Fancy Pants. Right here. Take a look.
Yes.
Go follow.
Yes.
I
Go give her a
appreciate
follow.
that.
If you don't follow her, unfollow us.
Oh.
Taking a page
Yeah,
over my boy.
exactly.
So absolutely. So definitely go give her a follow. Go check her stuff out.
Thank you.
If you're thinking about cosplaying or if you're something that you've considered going to cons and doing, it's a perfect person. And I said this in the background. If anybody watching this that does cosplay and you don't have a home, this A Worthy Addiction is your new home. You are more than welcome. Shoot me
Come
or
on our
Unworthy
show.
a message.
We'd love
Come
to
on
have
a
you.
show. We would love to hear your story. We would love to hear what inspires you to cosplay, just like Jamie did. And please, this is your home, and we would love for you guys to come on and just be on with us, like just like Jamie did, because Jamie did a phenomenal job. So
Yeah.
if you're
Oh,
watching this replay, whether it's in a replay or whether you're watching this live, hey, me and O'Worthy have open arms for you. So,
Always.
Jamie, you're fantastic, and
oh,
thank you
thank you.
so much again. When I said that, we're honored to have you on. Like that's just a little bit, like just that everything you told us and everything that you and they're just telling us about your how you started and all the stuff that you do. Like it just solidifies that. Like we are super honored to have you on. Like, and
Oh,
there's no
thank
bullshit,
you.
no bullshit or anything. Because again, this was what the show was meant to be about. When we had the idea of the show, we wanted to learn about other things because again, we don't want to fucking talk about toys all the time. We want to talk about other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So we're excited and we're so grateful and we thank you. So if you're not following her, please go give her a freaking follow right
Go
now.
go follow her now.
Oh,
And if
thank
you're
you.
not gonna go follow her, then go unfollow me.
We'll be okay. um,
And I did message you earlier and said that usually we like to end this show on a quote. So So, do you have a quote for us?
I do.
Yeah.
And I chose a quote from Walt Disney. I'm a big Disney fan.
There you go.
And this goes into how I feel about cosplay and like people wanting to start cosplaying or any hobby, really. But I chose, if you can dream it, you can do it.
Nice.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Walt Disney and Jamie Bear Fancy Pants. You heard it here.
Yes. And with that being said,
good night, beautiful. Oh,
Thank you for tuning in.
Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button
Click that notification bell
for more content.